Okay, so Terrace House 1 is a two-storey rear addition to an existing terrace house, and it's conceptually driven by the desire for connectedness to family, the outdoors, and the creation of a retreat for a frontline medical worker, often required to work nights. And in a broader sense, as a practice, we have a long interest in how we can develop replicable models that can work with common typologies to deliver high-quality outcomes with less customisation and ultimately less work. The project's located in Ascot Vale, and it's located one house away from the corner of Ascot Vale and Regent Street. And I just draw your attention to the private open space of the neighbour to the north, which had a big impact on the project, and the lane condition as well to the rear. The client came to us with a desire for a house that met her needs better, and this is the existing 90s addition, which had really poor thermal performance, poor connection to the yard, and it was dark, but ironically with a very large and functional kitchen. About halfway through the design process, just after town planning, the house burned down, so that put us under a bit of additional time pressure. The form of the new addition was driven by the compact site, by planning regulations, overlooking and setback envelope, and also the desire for outlook from all rooms. So stacked volumes were gently deformed in the X and Y direction, and they created angled walls that allowed better light, greater access to natural light, and efficiently accommodated changing program from across the building's length. Particularly upstairs, the trapezoidal form houses the stair and terrace at the thin end, and then expands to accommodate the master bedroom, the walk-in robe, and the ensuite. We included a green roof at the first floor level, and this provided outlook from the master bedroom and from the terrace area. Sun shading to all the northern windows, or to windows as appropriate, and this served the dual purpose of, and along with the positioning of the master bedroom and these windows, the sunshade to the ground floor meant that overlooking at this first floor, there was no overlooking issues into this backyard. From the street, the form is unobtrusive and pared back. We wanted something that would harmonise with the local buildings, both current and future. And in the lane condition, there was a lot of corrugated iron cladding, so that was a natural choice for us to make this building part of that lane condition, so with the use of the mini-oil cladding. We concentrated our work to just the highlighted area of the plan, and it was a budgetary constraint, but also that the rest of the house was in quite good condition, so it seemed to work quite well. So at the ground floor we have living, kitchen and ensuite. Sorry, living, kitchen and bathroom, laundry, and then at the first floor we have a terrace, master bed, bathroom and walk-in robe. So, going a little deeper, instead of laying the living space laterally across the site, we decided to lay it diagonally across the site. And what that allowed us to do was give the spaces a little bit more room, so they were a little bit more generous, but also it meant that we could bisect the space with this courtyard, and it allowed a level of spatial diversity across the whole living space, which was really important to the project. And it's something that we found our clients desire. At the rear, large glazed sliding doors give access internally. And dotted through that ground floor plane, there's lots of areas to sit and to occupy, the stairs, the island bench, the living space, the dining room, and then a bench through in that little courtyard. So the idea was that there's as many spaces as possible to connect with family and friends. A lot of the design was driven by sort of things that we explored deeply with the client, and one of those was, she had this ritualistic sort of way of having coffee every morning, so that was a big driver for this kitchen bench, which became like a breakfast bar and also a central kind of hub for the whole house. The courtyard also did a lot of occupies multiple functions. As I mentioned, it kind of bisects the living space to give these two connected but distinct spaces, but also allows light to come into a terrace house, which is often a bit of a tricky typology in terms of light. And when opened up, these spaces all join, so you have this quite connected and open ground plane. She also has quite a loose approach to gardening, and so we wanted to provide a framework for that rather than be too kind of defined with the design of the outdoor spaces. And so, yeah, she's experimented, and there's vegetable gardens growing. There's a vegetable garden outside the dining area. The space is fully lined, or the house is fully lined in the addition with plywood, which is this, it's a very rich and warm space. And we also used plywood for all the joinery, so it's something that we do quite a lot to just try and reduce the amount of materials that we use to give. I suppose it allows the house to kind of retreat back and just become a backdrop for cherished family experiences. At the rear, the sunshade forms a kind of very slender veranda, and so it's a threshold from outside to in. And on the ground floor, there's the bathroom laundry space as well, which is connected to the to that courtyard space. Upstairs, so view from the master bedroom out onto the green roof. The green roof is fully natively planted, and you can see that the strategy was always to avoid any overlooking issues. So these spaces are really, it's a special place for her to come, particularly after night shift, and then she can also move out into this little terrace space, which is a great spot for a beer or a coffee. Often we try and have a different experiential feeling in bathrooms, so the bathroom upstairs in the ensuite just has a skylight. And this is a view from the green roof back to the house. And the house has some pretty good sustainability credentials. So the new addition is fully thermally isolated from the existing very poorly performing terrace. Sun shading on appropriate windows, cross-flow ventilation at ground and first floor, and the skylight is an operable skylight in the bathroom, and it exhausts the house really quickly. There's full LED lighting throughout. Windows and skylights are oriented to maximise natural light. It's a fossil fuel-free building. It has solar cells. And the angled walls helped us to reduce stepping in the plan, so it's reasonably efficient, and we used low VOC materials and FSC certified plywood.